Hi guys, so today I'm going to be filming a budgeting video. Basically, in the beginning of this year, I set myself some goals, and one of the goals that I set myself was to build wealth. And to be honest, when you are trying to set a goal, you cannot just say, I want to build wealth, or I want financial freedom, or I want to save money. Your goals have to be SMART. If you know that acronym, then you know it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So I like to do like a mid-year checkup on my goals, how far I've come in like June, and I realized that I didn't basically do any effort towards my goals. One of the other goals was just to be unapologetically me and to live my best life. So I did that. I did that, but when it comes to my financial goals as well as my weight loss goals, I've been slacking a little bit. Like I kind of just let go and lived my best life for a while. But come here.
The down drawer.
Come here. There are. Say hi.
Hi guys.
What did you want to tell mommy? Why did I buy what?
Why did you buy mussels? Because there's two of the mussels inside the drawer.
So that means we can eat one today and we can save the others for later in the week.
But I want to eat this one today.
Okay, we can eat that one.
Because I made another space here.
You need help to make your snack?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right there. I just wanted to show you Willow's snack plate that she made for herself. This is mussels, chips, crackers, KFC chips, and KFC pops, some Astros, and grapes. That's her snack plate. So as I was saying, my goal was not very specific. Then in June, I did like a check-in where I realized I didn't make much effort to work towards my goals. In the first half of the year, I was very busy. I was traveling a lot. And in traveling a lot, I also don't really watch what I eat a lot. If I'm not in my routine, then I don't really like watch what I eat, you know. I was traveling a lot, so I was just kind of eating and snacking on the road, etc. Then now, when I stopped traveling, when I had some time off, when I just had some time to reflect and think, I realized, the way that I've been going in a very wrong direction. I want to be going like this, but it seems like I'm going like this, you know? And lifestyle creep is a real thing. Lifestyle creep can... Anyways, so I posted on one of my TikTok videos that I want to save $50,000 by the end of December. And I only started at the end of June. So one of my followers commented, what is my savings plan? So I'm going to tell you guys what my savings plan is in this video. We already spoke about SMART a little bit, that when you set goals, they have to be specific. Like you can't just say, I want to save money. You have to say how much money do you want to save and by when you want to save them, for exactly what are you saving at, etc. And then measurable, yes, you can't just say I want to save money or I want to build wealth or I want to have financial freedom. That's not that's not a goal that you can work towards. When it becomes measurable, it's something that you can work towards. Achievable and realistic sort of go hand in hand. Like you need to think of a realistic goal. I cannot now say I want to save $100,000 by the end of the year. Maybe if I started in January, yes, but I only started in June, so that would not be a realistic goal for me. I'll be putting myself under way too much pressure. It might not even be an achievable goal for me, because I mean, yeah. And then time bound. So you have to give yourself a time, otherwise you just like with my weight loss journey, I was just like nonchalant about it, and I just ended up maintaining my weight for a while, but then ended up gaining a little bit. Like I was just up to 105, down again to 100, up to 105, down to 100, and then I went over 105. I went up to 108. So if you don't put realistic, smart, measurable, achievable, timely goals, then most likely you are not really going to achieve them. So I changed my goal to saying that I want to save $50,000 by the end of December. And then I made myself a plan on how I'm going to achieve that. August, September, October, November, and then December, which is basically 5 months. Then I would have excuse me, then I would have to save $10,000 a month, which is very aggressive, very aggressive. But in the beginning of this year, I told myself a goal that I'm going to save $10,000 a month. And at the end of every month, I ended up saving zero. I saved zero from January up until June. I saved nothing. So if you don't put a time on your goals, you probably won't be realistically working towards it. Like if I started in January, imagine I could have saved double than what I was planning to save. But I only started in June. And yeah, that's okay nevertheless. So firstly, okay, we spoke about the what. The what is I want to save $50,000 by the end of December. And then the how. Okay, the how, there are three things that we need to take into consideration. By the way, I wrote down my notes. If you see me looking down, I'm reading my notes. So there are three things in my how. Okay, there is a savings plan, a budget, and mindset. Now, I want to talk about mindset before I get into the savings plan and the budget. Let's talk about mindset. Okay, so I had to ask myself, do I want to look rich or do I actually want to be rich? Do I want to look wealthy or do I actually want to have enough money in my bank for all of my needs, wants, desires, etc.? Because the way that I have been going, I've sort of had this like YOLO mindset. I didn't earn a lot of money for a long time. I was in a lot of debt and I was in a very poor, for lack of a better word, financial situation for a long time. And now that I'm in a much, much, much better financial situation, I was like, you know what? I could buy myself this. I could buy my child this. I could do this. I was being generous with my money. And also just spending frivolously and literally YOLOing, thinking that, you know what? You only live once. I'm going to buy this for me. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. No problem. And then I came to the point where I realized that at the end of the month, like from the 25th up until to the 5th or the 6th, I'm just spending frivolously, doing whatever, not even thinking, not even checking the price, anything. Then towards the middle of the month, that's when I'm now starting to check the prices of things and be like, yo, I can't believe I just bought 5 of these last week. And this week I'm wondering if I can even afford one, And so it was this pattern this whole year of having money at the end of the month towards the middle of the month having no money. And then the scariest part about that is if you have a zero or a negative bank balance and an emergency comes up. For example, if my daughter gets sick, we have to take her to the doctor. Yes, I have medical aid, but sometimes there's a co-payment involved. And then you have to get the medication. And sometimes with the medication, there's also a co-payment involved. And even though it's very little, if you have a negative or a zero bank balance, you will still not be able to afford that. Then I have to call around. Hey, can you please borrow me money so that I can pay for my daughter's medication? And I have to think to myself, who am I going to ask for this $500 or $200 that's not going to judge me, And how do I know that this person will always have money to give me, or these people will always have money to give me? So I just had to think and change my mindset a little bit. I've got so much money when I get paid, and then I spend all of it, and then I've got no money to the point where I have to go and borrow money. And I've been so generous with my money also. If somebody asked me for money, I would just send it to them, whether it's a $200 here or a $300 here or a $500 here. I would just pay to sell them the money or e-wallet them the money. But then towards the end of the month, a week and a half before payday, I have no money. And then I have to go to somebody else to borrow money. So I just had to change my mindset to the point where I was I had to talk to myself and say, Gabby, if somebody's asking me for money and they really need it, and if I have money, then I will absolutely give them. That's the mindset that I had. Yeah, I just basically had to tell myself, Gabby, if you have to go and borrow money, if you have to go into debt at the end of the month, because you can't make it to payday, that means you don't have money yet. We're getting there. We're going to get there. We're building wealth, okay? So basically that's where the mindset change came in. And also, I don't want to every middle of the month run out of money. You know, I don't want to every middle of the month run out of money and be like, yo, now I gotta wait for payday. When is payday coming? No, I want to always have money. I want to always be able to have enough money for my needs, for my children's needs, for my wants, for my children's wants. Okay, I always want to have enough money. So that is where my mindset had to change, and then I had to start taking my budget seriously. Okay, so now that brings us nicely into the budget. I'm not sure if I spoke everything about mindset. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about lifestyle creep. You know, lifestyle creep is a real thing. So let's say you are earning a certain amount of salary, you can afford everything, you get by, and then you all of a sudden get like a new job which offers you double that or even triple that. And now you're like, you know what? I can afford a bigger place. I can afford a nicer place. I can afford a better car. Ooh, I can afford to eat out at restaurants now. Ooh, I can afford to buy clothes at Woolworths instead of Pep stores or Ackermans or Mr. Price where I used to shop. Now I want to shop at Woolworths and Truworths, you know? And this was sort of what was happening to me until I had to be like, hey, stop, ring it in, relax. If you carry on this way, your lifestyle is really going to creep up on you. Like, I'm paying rent $8,000. I was considering getting a place for like 10 and a half, up to $13,000. I don't need to do that. So be careful of lifestyle creep. You know, if it happens in two scenarios, either number one, you were earning a certain amount and now you're earning significantly more. Or number two, you had a single income, now you are dating somebody in a serious relationship and now your income has sort of become significantly more. And then the two of you have been happily living in like a flat, a 1-bedroom flat or 2-bedroom flat. Now that you guys are together, you're like, maybe we could get a 3-bedroom house or something like that, you know? And that's how lifestyle creep gets you really bad. Okay, with mindset, I did speak about YOLO. I was in this place where I was just like, you know what, YOLO for a little while. Now I'm kind of somewhere in the middle between YOLO and I want to save money, you know, for the future. Because yes, some people are going to say, what if you end up planning to save all of this money, but then you end up dying and you never ever get to use it? I'm not going to save everything and not live at all. Yes, there are some sacrifices that I'm going to be making, but I'm still going to live a little, you know, not YOLO, just a little, okay? And also plan for the future, because I don't want to work forever. As much as I love my job right now, I don't want to work forever. I want to travel and see the world. So I want to live and work and save for our future, you know, for my future, for my kids' future, for our future. Okay, so, and then another thing that I also needed to consider was, if my lifestyle, the way that I was living, was causing me to not have money at the end of the month to be able to pay for mine or my children's needs, that I have to go and borrow money for it, then I need to be seriously starting to think of my lifestyle. You know, we always try to think that I don't have enough money, I need to have a side hustle to make more money, blah, blah, blah. But we never want to think of maybe my lifestyle is a bit up here and I needed to maybe bring it to over here, a more realistic place, you know? So yeah, that is basically what I decided to do, you know, with regards to my lifestyle. All I need to do is take care of us, take care of our basic needs and a little bit of our wants, and then some of our desires, you know? That's how I plan to live for the next 6 months and then next year. Let's get into budget. Okay, for budget, I have always had a budget. It's an Excel spreadsheet that I set up for myself and I do my budgets month to month. I don't hardly ever stick to my budget very strictly, because I always used to say my budget is very flexible. I work on a zero-based budget. So every single amount of money that I get paid into my bank. I wanted to say every single cent gets budgeted for. You know, I would have my income, and then I would have my fixed expenses like my house, my rent, my car, etc. And then I would have my variable expenses like gym, Netflix, any subscriptions, toiletries, co-payments, things like that. And then obviously any debt that I have to pay. Right now I only have three debts that I need to pay. I would budget that in there, and yeah, basically I would be putting amounts of money in things that I need to plan for, budget for, like my hair, things like that, and clothes, things like that. And I would budget all of my money out until the bottom is zero. And I have a miscellaneous category where I would say like budget 500 Rand for miscellaneous or something like that. Miscellaneous is for anything else that might come up. Let's say somebody's birthday and you need to buy them a present or something like that. I also budget for takeaway. And so when my money comes in on the 25th, I know exactly where all of my money has to go, right? Sometimes something will come up like we want to buy, let's say, pizzas on the Saturday for lunch, or we want to buy, or we want to have a girls' night. Then I would use my miscellaneous category. Let's say I've already spent my miscellaneous category and something else comes up now. Then I have to go and rework my budget and see, okay, I budgeted 800 Rand for toiletries, but maybe I can bring it down to 600 or 500. I budgeted 300 for co-payments, but maybe we won't need to go to the doctor this month, so let's just take the money away from co-payments to do whatever this thing is that just came up that wasn't in the budget. That's why sometimes I would say to my friends and family members, that was not in my budget, sorry. Or I would be like, you guys, julle maak my budget nou heel deur mekaar. Yes, it's my choice, I can say no, but obviously I want to be part of the fun and I want to also contribute. So, you know, I would contribute. And like, let's say we want to buy burgers, it's a Friday night and we want to have burgers, then we would all cover and we would go buy burgers. Or if it's girls' night that we're planning, then we will all cover and have girls' night and stuff like that. So, but then I would be like, yo, julle maak my budget deur mekaar. It just means like you're basically messing up my budget now, because I had budget categories for everything. Now I don't have any money for co-payments. I have only got $500 to spend on toiletries, etc. And so then when I go buy my toiletries, I have to be really specific and careful with the toiletries that I buy and only buy the things that I specifically need. And in case, I gotta pray that none of us get sick and we don't need to pay a co-payment, because I've got now no money for co-payment. So basically, if somebody calls me or texts me and asks me for some money and I have some money left in my miscellaneous, I can give them. However, sometimes what I used to do is, even if it's money that I budgeted somewhere else, I would give it anyway. Then I would end up having to take from my grocery money to put it back in that category. And then my groceries money would be very less. And then I would have to borrow money again a week before payday. So now I don't want to do that anymore. I want to budget very carefully, very specifically, and stick to my budget. And you know, if somebody asks me for money and there's no money in the miscellaneous category left anymore, then unfortunately I'm going to have to say, sorry, I don't have money, or I can't help you this time. That's a hard boundary that I need to be able to stick to. I haven't done it yet, but it's a plan, it's a work in progress, so we're getting there. So if something is not in the budget and I haven't budgeted for it, then it has to wait next month. My son also knows and he understands. If he comes to me and he says, Mommy, can I please have this? I need this, I want this. Then I would tell him, okay, JP, I still have money left in your category, a little bit. So this is how much I can give you this month. However, if you want that additional thing, we'd have to wait so that I can put it in next month's budget. And he knows this and he understands this as well. So that's basically my budget. If you guys want me to show you my specific Excel sheet where I show you my budget, I've done that before on YouTube and I can do that again. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is my savings plan. So my savings plan is going to be very aggressive. I plan to save $10,000 every single month from now until December. Already at the end of July, I wasn't able to do that because there were some other things that came up that I needed to use that money for. So in July, I ended up saving only $5,000. So total today, I have saved up $8,900. Okay, so August, end of August, in September, October, in November, and December, I have to save $41,100. $41,100. So that is probably going to be 9,000 and something that I need to save every single month. I don't know. I haven't done the math. So yeah. End of August, it's already looking tough. End of August, I might only be saving like 8,000, and then end of September, October, November, it has to be 10, 10, 10 if I'm going to be able to reach my goal. So that is my savings plan. And how am I going to do that is, I mean, I told you from January up until June, I spent my whole salary and didn't save a single thing. June, I saved some, and now end of July, I saved some. So I'm just gonna have to cut my lifestyle. I have to cut my lifestyle. The grocery budget that I set for Willow and I, we need to stick for that. For me, that is 3,500 to 4,000 for the month. That is even a lot because we're just 2 people in the house. And yeah, that includes takeout as well. No? And then toiletries, I need to cut down and only buy specific things, luxuries like bath bombs and body mists and body oils and those types of things will be like special occasion buys, not every month buys. And yeah, if you watched one of my TikTok videos where I showed you how I plan to save money, coffee, like when I go to town, I'm not just going to stop at Seattle, buy a coffee and a croissant, or iced coffee and a croissant, or a wrap and an Oreo bar. Like I'm just going to get coffee. I still want to treat myself. Like I said, I still want to live a little. Still want to do the little things that bring me joy, but just not as much anymore. Like spend $50 or $60 instead of spending $150 like I normally would for one trip in Seattle. And I would normally do 2 or 3 trips to Seattle a week. Instead of doing 2 or 3, I would just do one as a special treat, And then instead of eating out like 2 to 3 times a week, just eat out maybe once a week. I know some of you guys are already living like this, but I just went a little bit crazy, a little bit YOLO, I just let go of the worries and the cares for a while, okay? And now I just need to bring it back in a little bit. And why am I saving this money? Like I said, I don't want to be coming at the end of the month and I don't have the money to take care of my needs and my children's needs, because the whole month I've been spending on wants, desires, And I want to be at a point where I have 3 months of emergency funds saved. So basically why I want to save so aggressively is I want to have my 3 months emergency fund saved. That means all of my expenses, my rent, my insurance, my car payment, my electricity, my toiletries, my groceries, my child's school fees, those expenses, I need to have 3 months worth of those expenses paid. I'm not talking about the extras, the hair, the Netflix, the gym. Those things are completely extras, I'm talking about the expenses. Like let's say if I lose my job now and I still want to stay at the same place, don't want to lose my car, etc., while I'm looking for another job, I want to be able to at least live 3 months stress-free as a starter emergency fund. Okay, I put myself a realistic goal, put $50,000, okay, because I don't want to save too aggressively and then having to go and take out of my savings again. During this time, I don't want to borrow money from anybody for anything. And I've got 4 different types of savings. In the one, it's a fixed savings account where I can only withdraw money after 5 years. The other one is a 32-day account. The other one is my Flexi Call account, I think. And then the third one is my savings pocket. So in my savings pocket, I'm saving for things like birthdays, holiday trips that we might take, you know, and my car license disc that I need to renew in November. Any type of bigger expenses that I know are coming up. That's for that one, the flexi pocket or the savings pocket. Then the flexi call account or whatever, the one that you can remove money at any time. Now that's the one where I'm saving for emergencies. And then the 32 day and those are my long-term savings. Okay. So at least if I can get to 50,000 by December, I can reevaluate in January and set new goals and etc. Okay, that is my savings plan. This was a very long video. Let me know if you have any questions below. I'll be happy to answer them. And I look forward to seeing you guys again in the next one. Bye.